Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Manager 2023 and another part of this Newcastle series where we have gone forward quite a bit of time, a couple of months now since we last checked in with the team. We're in the middle of the January transfer window and we're also in the middle of the worst run of form that we have had since becoming manager of Newcastle United. When we left off last time, we had just finished November with a crucial 3-2 victory with a 93rd minute winner thanks to Isaac away from home against Napoli to qualify for the Champions League knockout stages. And since then, we did manage to follow that up with a 4-1 victory. Callum Wilson getting a couple of goals in that one. And then a thrilling 4-4 draw to finish off the group stage of the Champions League. We were actually 4-1 up inside 31 minutes, but then capitulated in the second half, throwing away that advantage. Darwin Núñez coming in to score 2 goals for PSG quite late on, including a 91st minute equaliser. He nearly got a hat-trick to win it in the 94th minute as well, but hit the post. But it was a bit of a dead rubber game, but good to see that we could push PSG as far as we did, because that was a full-strength PSG team as well. And then annoyingly, a 2-2 draw with Leicester after that as well. Botman and Isaac with the goals. Then against West Brom, we did get a win against a team rooted to the bottom of the table who had 4 points from 16 games at that point. A 3-1 victory there with a few new goal scorers on the sheet as well. And then 2-1 against West Ham was another good win in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. Joe Linton and Sam Maximan with those goals. Battle of the top strikers at the Etihad, but unfortunately Erling Haaland got the advantage in that one, an 89th minute winner, doing it for Man City. And then we had our final win in the month of December, a 4-1 victory over Burnley. Dan Burn, 2 for Callum Wilson, 1 for Joe Linton as well. Scott Twine with the goal for Burnley. And since then, it's been pretty poor. We've been really struggling to score goals. Isaac's had knock after knock after knock. So you can see we were beaten 2-1 by Wolves. We had Eric Garcia sent off after taking the lead and then equalising before ultimately throwing it away. Raul Jimenez with the goals there. A 0-0 draw with Fulham, a 1-1 draw with Chelsea. We did take the lead there but couldn't hang on to it. A 0-0 draw with Arsenal in the Carabao Cup semi-final, and then a 2-2 draw with Fulham in the FA Cup. A 96th minute equaliser when there was only meant to be 4 minutes of added time and there were no injuries or any other reason for that time to keep ticking away. But Alexander Mitrovic with a 96th minute equaliser was extremely frustrating in that game. So this has been a really tough run of form, which is why I'm checking back in. We've also done some transfers as well. So you may remember that we had Callum Wilson leaving for 5.5 million to Strasbourg. We also let Dan Burn go for nearly 13 million pounds, just because neither one of them were playing and neither one of them were happy. And we have, given our recent form, also open the checkbook and really let loose on some new players. Højbjerg, the first one, he was on the transfer list at Spurs. The main reason I actually signed him was because if you look here, he has 17 work rate, he has 18 determination and 17 aggression. They are all things missing in the squad that we inherited at Newcastle. So we needed someone with that kind of drive and determination to win. And he's already impressed in his first couple of games. Unlucky not to already have a goal to his name. The big signing was Nico Schlotterbeck from Borussia Dortmund. He's a big player for the future, worth up to 100 million. We paid quite a lot for him with 65 million there, but he's been consistent for Borussia Dortmund, and we needed a new centre-back that could also cover at left-back after we let Dan Burn go. So he's another big buy for the future. And then finally, something that I think is a bit of a snip was Brahim Diaz for £30 million, a former Manchester City player that's been at Real Madrid, he's been at Milan, back to Real Madrid. He just hasn't really had the game time to become the top quality player that he has the potential to be. He also adds some rotation on both wings, which is helpful for us because we need some quality in those positions and a bit more competition and rotation. So quite a few changes. I think we're still missing a striker to back up Isaac when he gets injured, but we do still have options there. You see, we had a favourable draw in the Champions League. Bayer Leverkusen there will be a big game for us. But first off, we need to see if we can get through at home against Arsenal after the 0-0 away from home. And for this one, we're going to start with Brahim Diaz on the right, Isaac up front, Sam Maximan on the left. Højbjerg's in defensive midfield with Willock and Camavinga. Then it's Niakate, Schlotterbeck, Garcia and Trippier in defence with Pope in goal. So a very strong team for this Arsenal game. They're taking a bit of time to gel. This Arsenal team not full strength from what I just saw. So I do expect us to come back from this one as finalists. But let's have a look. You can see, it's a decent team. They've got Turner in goal. I guess they're doing that rotation of the keepers thing with Ramsdale on the bench. But we should really be winning this one. And again, I have forgotten to turn down the speed of the highlights. You'll have to forgive me for that one. But here's Brahim Diaz, tackled by Smith Rowe. Ball through to Jesus, and he's finished at the near post. And Pope, I have been saying for a while I need a new goalkeeper. And I think part of the problem is that in my head we are title and Champions League challengers, but in reality the depth of the team and the quality of our starting 11 is just not quite there. We need a new goalkeeper, we need a new right back, we need a new left back, we need at least one more high quality central midfielder, and we need another striker. And really, if we're talking about Champions League winners, we need new wingers as well, like top tier wingers. But each of those positions, to get the full set in, we're looking at £500 million at least over 3 seasons. And I'm sure the Newcastle pockets do run that deep, but that's a long time away. We really need to improve the players that we've got and get back to form like we were last season and near the start of this season. But we've just been very inconsistent with all the new games, all the competitions that we're now in. And obviously we did go out of both domestic cup competitions quite early last season. As Niakate puts it in, and Isaac there with the finish, the flag has gone up. VAR having a look at this. Have we managed to pull a goal back here? It has been given. So Isaac back on the score sheet finally. It's his 26th goal of the season, but he really just hasn't scored much lately. I think it's like 1 goal in a month, which is nothing for him. But that was a kind of emphatic finish from a ball across the box that we've come to expect from him. And we are now back on level terms, but we're just not dominating games in the same way that we used to. And that is having problems for us. But we're keeping Arsenal contained here, and Camavinga winning the ball, now charging down the left flank. He has got players to aim at. Willock is there, and Willock nods that one in the bottom corner. It's now 2-1 against Arsenal. Still very early in this game, but that determination to win the ball from Camavinga there and swinging it out to the left flank before whipping that ball in from deep. Willock out jumping Tierney there, who was a bit too stationary, and we even had Brahim behind him in case he missed it. But we are now 2-1 up against Arsenal. It's still a fairly tight game according to the stats, but 2-1 up will see us go through. Obviously 0-0 in that first leg, so if we can hold on to this with that home advantage as well, it not only will it get us into the final, but it might also finally reignite our season by overcoming one of the big rivals that we face in the league. But here's Jesus with a free kick, which goes well over the bar. Not a natural free kick taker, I don't think, Gabriel Jesus. But at the moment the team's looking good, not too much tiredness in the legs. Brahim, the one most at risk of being pulled sometime soon. I don't think I need to take away... Oh, they're saying it's because of a suspension. I didn't know why they would be doing that otherwise. We can bring Joe Linton on because Camavinga is on a yellow card, and that is a combative position. Let's also take Brahim off for Brereton Diaz. Isaac still up front as the ball goes in from the corner, and just like that, Alexander Isaac, I can't remember him scoring directly from a corner before, or directly from a ball whipped in from a corner, but look at that leap. He jumped like 5 yards forward there. Huge leap on him, and he does get a second goal today for 3-1 now against Arsenal. We've got the last 10 minutes to see out. Ball comes down for Lakanga, now Smith Rowe, but Garcia is there to intercept. Niakate forward. Lakanga to Gabriel. Joe Linton has stolen it. He's got Isaac up there with him. It's Brereton Diaz on the ball, and it's palmed away by Turner. I think we're going to take Trippier off if we have someone to come in at right back. Probably Matt Target's our best bet as Trippier tries to put the ball in again, and this time Turner picks it up. But with 5 minutes to go, we should be booking our place in our first final at Newcastle. As the ball is launched forward, there's Isaac. It's given away. Nick Pope able to collect it. He then launches it forward. Diaz trying to get the header on. It's come for Matt Target. Ball down the line for Willock. Through to Brereton Diaz, and Isaac is there. He gets his first hat-trick for a couple of months. It is rare for him to go so long without one, but what a game to get your hat-trick in. That big game player showing up when it mattered. Willock through to Brereton Diaz, and then he just played it in and Isaac getting ahead of Ben White in defence and just in front of Turner in goal to make it 4-1, and this is turning into a relatively comfortable semi-final appearance for us as we do go through to a final at Wembley against Liverpool. A really good performance from the team there. Isaac getting a hat-trick, and maybe we are now back to form. So the final will be against Liverpool on the 3rd of March. So we can see here in between games against Bayer Leverkusen. So we've got Brighton up next to see if we can continue this form into the Premier League where we've been stuttering recently. And then it's Fulham in the FA Cup and a good run of games after that. I'll probably actually come back for that Carabao Cup final next time and the second leg against Bayer Leverkusen. I can't imagine the first leg will be so decisive. I'll feel very bad if it is, but we can always check in a bit early if we need to. But that will give us a good run and then hopefully a good set of cup competitions to come. So let's take on Brighton next and see if we can rediscover our form from last season in the Premier League. So a few changes for this one against Brighton away from home. We've got Manquillo coming in for Trippier, who is just struggling for fitness at the moment. Then it's Garcia and Schlotterbeck in defence with Sessegnon at left back, Guimaraes in defence midfield, then Willock and Camavinga in the centre, Almiron, Brereton, Diaz coming in on the wings, and then it's Cunha starting up top, partly because we do have why are players off to join international squads? What's that about? So for some reason Sweden are playing Denmark in a friendly on the 22nd of January in 2024 with no other games anywhere near them. Are Germany playing a game then as well? No. So why are... That has got to be some sort of mistake there. Because it's Isaac, Højbjerg, who's Danish, and then Gabbia is also off. Is he playing for Italy as well? Let's have a look at the senior squad here. No, it doesn't look like he's playing. So is he injured or... Because it says he's also... no, he's unregistered, that's fine. But why are Sweden and Denmark playing a... Oh, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. That must be a glitch in the game, them setting up a friendly there. But it might prove costly for us here against Brighton. So Cunha up top. That is very frustrating. The last thing we needed after Isaac got a hat-trick in the last game. I wonder, I could probably go back and somehow forbid them from playing for their country, but that's as likely to upset them as anything else. Let's hope we can just get the win here, otherwise our season is going to continue to fall apart pretty quickly. You can see at the moment we're in 4th place, but Chelsea with that game in hand. We need to win this one really, because that lead that Liverpool have got is starting to open up. Even if we win, we'll be 9 points behind. But here's Trossard with a free kick. Oh, and it's bounced in off Eric Garcia there. We'll have to see if that is an offside in there, but the goal has been given, unsurprisingly. It has gone down as a Brighton goal. It didn't come off Eric. It was off Omar Bamadeli, I think that is. So 1-0 now to Brighton, confirming my worst fears. Just when it looked like things might be turning around for us, the game glitches out and we have a random friendly taking 2 of our most important players away. But can we still turn it around? That's gone all the way through. Camavinga there with a header from almost outside the area has pulled it back to 1-1 almost immediately. Let's have a look at this again. Manquillo just holds the ball up, knocks it back, whips it across. And Camavinga outside the box with a header. I mean, Cunha there was just blocking the defender and the goalkeeper on the line. It's gone all the way through, so no offside there. Because obviously he was in front of the defender and the goalkeeper. So that's gone through. That's a good stroke of fortune for us as Cunha plays it out to Almiron, who's in on goal, and he just smashes it past the goalkeeper. Almiron's first goal of the season, an absolutely essential one, makes it 2-1, and we now have the advantage in this game which we needed. Cunha there out wide to Almiron, who just charged in on goal and then smashed it over a diving Sanchez for 2-1. And we are now in front. That's a very fast turnaround. 3 goals in 3 minutes. Now Willock out to Manquillo. Holds it up again, plays it across. It's cleared out, but there's Sessegnon with it. He tries to put it back in, and Camavinga strikes it, but it's forced out by Sanchez and then cleared by the Brighton defenders. Brighton at the moment in mid-table, not doing too badly, not quite in the top 10, but the best of the rest down in the bottom end there. And if we can win this one without 2 very important players, including our star striker, we will be in a very good position as Sessegnon gives the ball away, but Brereton Diaz recovers. Sessegnon in behind, Cunha's in on goal, and what a finish that is from Cunha. Just tapping it up with his right foot and then striking it with his left. Brereton Diaz won the ball, played it back to Sessegnon. Ball over the top, excellent dunk in behind. Look at that on the volley, past a absolutely rooted Sanchez for 3-1 now. That lead, giving us that little bit of cushion, and maybe we will be able to keep this momentum going from that semi-final victory into the Premier League in the next few games, because we absolutely need to. But 3-1 advantage here as Almiron swings it in, cleared away, Camavinga to Garcia, back to Slotterbeck. Almiron is there and he scored again, and the players are scoring with some force in their shots at the moment. Camavinga there, back to Garcia, and then over to Schlotterbeck, who swung the ball over, beautifully weighted, and Almiron, what power on that volley there to make it 4-1. 2 goals today for Almiron. He's barely registered this season, but he's showing up when we needed him, with Højbjerg and Isaac both out, and it is now 4-1 against Brighton. This will be a very important victory for us. Still 9 points behind Liverpool at the top. Maybe the title beyond us at this stage, but the top 4 remains an important thing to aim for. As they just got through there. I think that was Trossard with that volley going wide. But 4-1 now, 20 minutes left to go. We could probably look to make a few changes. Almiron, we'll keep on for now. Let's take Camavinga off, maybe bring on Soumare, and then take Cunha off and bring Moukoko on. He's not quite been good enough when we have played a Moukoko, so I think if Isaac's away, we're going to need him to come on and just help out a little bit, as Edin Dzeko there, who I didn't know played for Brighton, has just made it 4-2, almost out of nothing. A little deflection in there was quite lucky, as well as the ball was played over. But the defenders just sort of ran into each other, and then Dzeko clean through on goal, and it looked like it came off Manquillo there. Maybe it was just a clean chip with the graphics not showing it as well as it maybe should. But 4-2 now. Hopefully we can just see the rest of this game out. Here's Schlotterbeck to Bruno Guimaraes. Brereton Diaz down the left flank. Back to Soumare, into Moukoko, and he does score. This might be ruled out for offside. It looked onside to me. Let's have a look what the VAR referee says, and the goal is given. That's 5-2. He did look onside. He's a pacey young lad, so sometimes when it looks like he might be offside, he's actually on, and that was really well done. Ball over the shoulder almost, and he still makes the volley left-footed. I mean, is that a 3rd or 4th volley that we've scored today? They are flying in at the moment. Going to bring Niakate on here as well, but 5-2 now, and even better, Man City are 4-2 down against Wolves. That will help quite a lot. Man City currently in 2nd, so that helps us close ground there. Almiron with a free kick for the hat-trick, goes short to Soumare instead, and he's put it over the bar. Almiron, if that were me there, I'd be absolutely taking that shot on for the hat-trick when you're 5-2 up. Why would you lay that one off? But here we go, last minute, and there goes the full-time whistle. Absolutely excellent from the team there, given that random friendly, just coming out of nowhere. And we could still fall out of the top 4 there. Chelsea are big rivals for this role at the moment. Spurs are up there as well. Wolves with a huge win, showing that they're in it, and Arsenal a bit further down in 9th. But that was a really, really good win. We've got a tough replay against Fulham up next after that annoying, it shouldn't have happened, but that 96th minute goal that they scored to force it into a replay. But if we have a look at the schedule, we've got a good few games to get through. Big games against Spurs, Wolves, Man City as well. But we'll probably pick up next for this Liverpool Bayer Leverkusen double header in the cup competitions. Carabao Cup final, chance for our first bit of silverware at Newcastle, and then Bayer Leverkusen away from home, having played the home game already, will be a very interesting one. But the competition's looking pretty nice at the moment, and maybe when you see me next, we will be lifting some silverware. So do drop a like down below if you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. But until next time, see ya.